I mean, I wonder how many times are you gonna do this until you learn. The Bane fight in Arkham Origins, though, bro. Oh, that. Oh, baby. Yeah. Hold that. I am jumping. I am running. I am sprinting. Good job, Batman. Good, Batman throwing 18 batarangs, dude. Just throw one. Just throw one, Batman. That's all you need. Just one. There's no need to throw 18 batarangs. It's Bane. Oh, he's gonna throw a piece of boulder at me. Oh, this is the thug. I saw him reach his leg. I saw it. I saw it. Oh.
The bat is broken.
Oh, Jesus. Come on. This is it. There's no way I choke this, right? Here we go. He's not that hard. Now, what the real challenge that's really going to make me clench my cheeks is going to be when we fight Killer Croc. That's what's really going to get me. Oh yeah. Easy experience points. We're almost at a remote control batarang. The animations are so beautiful. Oh, I dropped the combo. Oh, he kicked his knee in. I saw that. All right, cool. I'm going right now where they should be going after fighting me. Okay, I'm about to get whooped. All right, I'm about to get whooped. They throw one different enemy type at me, and now I'm about to get beat up. Bro, imagine the news headline: Batman gets his cheeks rotated at Arkham Asylum. Should have stayed at home. Like, seriously, only Batman can get here. Unless you got a glider or a wingsuit. Oh, and this. There we go. Come on. Who is he swinging at? Who's back there that's so important that Batman thought he must have saw his parents' ghost? But then why would you swing at them? Oh. Ah.
Go on.
He says, I'm coming for you. I want what I paid for. Another joke about wheelchairs. Lovely. And a drone
Okay.
some kind of donkey.
No mystery why she's so scared. I'm coming up to the surface. I'll find her.
Believe me, don't joke about wheelchairs when it comes to Barbara. Just like you shouldn't joke about crowbars when it comes to Jason Todd. Your boy's a Batman fan, okay? I'm a Batman fan. I'm not necessarily much of a Batman fan as I am a Bat Family fan. I like everybody. Everyone's equally awesome. Of course, my favorite being Jason Todd, of course. And I like the fact that each member of the Bat Family, including Batman and stuff, could, like, theoretically, like, appeal to each kind of person. I do like that. I mean, like I said, here's the thing. If anybody says, hey, man, I like Dick Grayson over Jason Todd, like, bro, that's also fair. I've never heard someone say they like Tim Drake the most, though. I've never heard Tim. Okay, so where am I going now? Okay, I gotta go to the Arkham Mansion. Oh, okay. We're shooting people now. We're shooting. That's what we're doing. No, wait. Wait, but let me do Batman things before you shoot me. Oh, that sucks. Batman gets shot 4 times by a 50 caliber sniper. He should have stayed at home. Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been a part of this whole DC cinematic universe since the very beginning. And as a DC fan, I'm a DC fan. I don't blame Ben Affleck, like, on a serious note. I don't blame Ben Affleck for anything. I blame what's his name? The director, if anything, for how Batman has been treated. Because I can't say that Ben Affleck didn't have the Batman chin for the job. Right? I can't say he didn't. He had the look, man. He had the personality. He didn't have the right director. Zack Snyder Yeah, fuck that guy. He did a terrible job as a director. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this shows how much Zack Snyder knows. When Batman was staring at the at the Robin suit inside of that casing in Batman v Superman, the dead Robin, basically, that was supposed to be Dick Grayson's suit. But in the comics, Dick Grayson has never died. It's been Jason Todd, so he couldn't even get that right. Oh, so we're doing that now. Okay, that makes sense. But that's just, I wouldn't even say that's just me, but that just goes to show how much he actually knew the character of Batman. I mean, that's just an example. I can come up with an entire grocery list, a novel, a dissertation, and a dictionary on what Zack Snyder got wrong with the character of Batman and Superman and the Justice League. But then we'll be here all night. I'll get on that rant one day. You don't feel none of that happening behind you? My man touches your cheeks on the regular? You're just gonna just let him just touch your cheeks like that? Wow. There's a story here between these two guys. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And this is just on a side note, because now I have to talk about this. Batman Forever with Mr. Freeze wasn't even a bad movie. It wasn't even a lot of people give the movie shit because they didn't understand what they were doing with the movie. People have this perception that Batman is a dark and brooding, very serious character, and they don't understand that Batman 66 was ever a thing. Yes, he can be goofy and he can be serious, but everyone has this perception that Batman is serious only. So instead of looking at the movie from the perspective of this is like in the wake of like Batman 66, but it's a little bit more on the goofier side, they decided to take it 100% in a different direction and say that, okay, if Batman isn't serious, this Batman movie is now terrible. Again, it's sad that they actually got a serious Batman in Batman v Superman, and it still wasn't good enough for them. It's because, again, you guys don't understand the character of Batman. You never have. Batman, there's so many iterations of Batman at this point that you have to look at how they're doing this version of him. And so, yeah, I thought Batman Forever was really fun. Batman Forever was really fun. It was a really, really fun, jokative type of movie. It did have some serious scenes in it. It did. But yes, it was mostly supposed to be like the Batman 66 kind of fun, but no one understood that. Everyone has their own perception of what Batman is supposed to be. And so they didn't see it for what it was. It was actually a really fun, really good movie. And then the one with Two-Face and Riddler, that was fun too. With Jim Carrey as oh boy, oh baby. It was great. It was great. But like I said, here's the thing. The reason why I would consider myself to be a Batman fan isn't because I'll just take Batman in any form, right? You have to realize I don't like the Batman v Superman version of Batman. So it's not like I was like, oh, well, it's just another version of him. Like, I don't see it that way. I see that you're trying to do a more serious iteration on the Batman and you still didn't get it right. There's some things like Nightwing that didn't show up. There was no mentioning of Robin, and again, the only mentioning we got was a suit, and that was Dick Grayson's suit, but it should be Jason Todd. His personality and how dumb he actually was in the movie fighting Superman. When Superman was trying to talk to him before they fought, Batman would have actually listened. On top of that, Batman wouldn't have went on a kill mission either to kill Superman because Batman doesn't do that. There's always another way. And so I feel like when Superman tried to talk to him in Batman v Superman, Batman would have actually fucking listened. And the reason why Batman wanted to kill Superman is because Batman thought he was responsible for the courthouse exploding, basically, when he could have done more detective work into it and saw that it was a bomb and not Superman. But he didn't do any detective work because Zack Snyder doesn't know how to write Batman. The only thing that mattered to him is seeing Batman and Superman fight. It doesn't matter what the characteristics are on each character as long as they fight each other. He was doing it like a fucking 8-year-old kid. Bam, you're dead, Superman. I'm Batman. Like, bro, come on now. So no, I don't like that version because you got a lot of things about serious Batman wrong. I've been on this rooftop for 8 hours talking about Batman movies, and I gotta find the entrance. And don't get me started on these Batman movies, man. Like, some people don't really understand the character of Batman. They really don't. And so the last movie I saw, which is actually The Dark Knight Rises, is my second favorite. My favorite right now is The Batman with Mr. Robert Pattinson. Oh, bro, that fucking movie. Oh, that movie, man. Oh, I told myself I'm gonna be able to watch the movie without crying. I know I can one day. I've seen the movie like 8 times already, and I've cried every single time. I'm not gonna say on which parts though, because I don't want you to associate my tears with certain parts of the movie. But man, there's never gonna. I told myself one day One day I can watch it without crying. It's such a great, oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's the best Batman movie I've ever seen. The best. Oh shit, it's locked. But yeah, if I'm gonna, again, when I try to criticize things though, I don't try to look at things like, okay, if you're not this version, I'm not gonna like you. Because there are some people who did that with The Dark Knight, basically. So I know even with Batman v Superman, when it came out, people were like, okay, the reason why it sucks is because they didn't do what they did in, you know, the Dark Knight movies. Like, dude, different director, different type of take on Batman. And even if you really look at it, even the way that they did the Dark Knight wasn't really fully like Batman, right? It was just another version of him. So I don't want, like, in terms of authenticity, I don't feel like the Christopher Nolan movies did Batman lore justice, basically. You know, that's just how I see it. And you have to realize, I like Dark Knight Rises is my favorite. It's one of my favorites, basically. But even still, I know they didn't do the Batman lore correct. And even the personality of Batman. But it doesn't mean that those movies weren't good, though, at the same time. It was a good movie, but a bad Batman movie, basically. That's how I see it. But the movie is still, again, the movies like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises is still they're still good movies. Like, I'm never gonna say they're not good movies. But as a Batman fan, it kind of hurts. A good example would be Gordon in both Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises had a son instead of a daughter. You know, so I don't know how Barbara Gordon's gonna fit into the world. I guess Christopher Nolan didn't really care, if you know what I mean. And then the name in Dark Knight Rises, the guy that fights alongside Batman, his real name was actually Robin, which was weird. And it should be Dick Grayson. And I guess Christopher Nolan didn't want to do that either. And at the end of the movie, instead of them teaming up in like suits and stuff, instead Batman basically fakes his own death, and the kid actually named Robin takes over. Like, again, as a Batman fan, I don't think they did I don't think Christopher Nolan did Batman justice. That's all, man. Like I said, again, that's why I'm never gonna trash anybody for having different opinions than me. Like, that's fine. If you do like the Dark Knight series, I'm never gonna say that you're wrong for liking those movies. However, I will say you are wrong for thinking that every movie should be like the Dark Knight, and then trashing every movie for not being like it. Because again, here's the thing. If every movie's like The Dark Knight, then you're going to say that the movie shouldn't exist because I have The Dark Knight to watch. And if it's not The Dark Knight, you're going to get mad because it's not The Dark Knight. So it's like, so which one is it? What do you want? Do you want a new Batman movie or not? Because you call yourself a Batman fan, so, but if it's not like this, then you don't like it. But if it is, then it's like, what's the point of it existing? So it's just weird. It's just, some people are just weird. I know some people did that with the Batman, like, oh, well, you know, if you look in the Dark Knight, they did it this way. I'm like, bro, for one, 2 different directors, 2 different movies, and at least the lore. Batman, at least, there is at least references to Blackgate Prison in that one. I mean, there's way too many good things about the Batman that I can talk about. Like, it's one of those movies I can just talk good about, like, all day. But it's like, it's not really fair for you just to compare those two together. It's really not. Like, dude, chill out. Let there be other versions of Batman out there. And when I say other versions, I mean correct ones, okay? There's nothing wrong with, again, I understand, you know, you got your version, right? You enjoy The Dark Knight along with the rest of the world. I get that. But other versions of Batman can exist. Believe me, if people were like you and hated everything that wasn't a certain version of Batman, we would have either stuck with 66 Batman, basically, or we wouldn't have gotten something like Frank Miller's Batman, you know? Like, appreciate, you know, different versions of something and criticize it for actual problems and not for it not being something else. Not everything needs to be what you like, because if it is, all you're gonna do is criticize the fact that it's what you like and you hate it for that reason. You know what I mean? So just, like, chill out. That's all I'm saying.
They'd be there now if they weren't busy knocking a little sense into cash. I'll tell you what, I won't spoil the surprise and let them know you're coming.
Well, you shouldn't have done that. You giving Batman prep time. That's dangerous. Oh, man. Okay, let me say this, right? I've seen a few episodes of Invincible, and then the memes ruined the rest of the fucking series for me. Or at least the big climatic ending, at least. But yes, I've seen it. I have seen it. I have. Oh! And then I sit there with my thumb up my ass. Oh, Lord. Up! Oh no, no, you're fine. No, you're fine. Again, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it up until that point. One of my favorite scenes, though, or one of my favorite sequences, even though I know he's a bad guy, is when Omni-Man went to that other alien world and just like mass genocide. Like, I've never seen a scene like that before. Not like, again, you can be like, oh man, look at all the blood, but like just everything accumulated together in terms of like directing and scene selection and even musical choice. And the fact he was like, he had like the beard to show how long he's been there doing that shit. Because again, I don't think you can wipe out an entire planet in one day, even if you're Omni-Man. But the fact it took that much time, bro, like, whoo, baby. I can be 100% honest when I say there's never going to be another. Oh, I'm dead. Oh. I tried. The vent opened. And funny enough, me being because I'm a huge superhero. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's like my identity. It's what. Let me see. Marvel, DC, a little bit of the Invincible. All these things, along with some elements from like different movies like Terminator things. Again, that's what motivated me to write my book, basically. Like, if you check my bio, again, it took me 8 years, basically, but I finally, have the know-how to actually write. Like, again, I absolutely love superheroes. What people don't understand about superheroes, because some people think they're just for kids, basically. But like I said, what Invincible has shown is that it's not. It can be more than that, Granted, of course, my book is not on the more gorier side of the superhero-ness, you know what I mean? But if you look at things like, let me see, Invincible and like The Boys and things like that, again, you get to see what different types of superheroes can exist. You know what I mean? It's not just for kids. It's really not. And you can take really mature stances on it. Like, think of the X-Men. And if you really think about it at its core, basically, the X-Men are basically fighting against, like, racism. You know what I mean? Because if you're a mutant, you're automatically considered a bad person before anything even happens. And so I feel like it's a nice little talk about how we perceive, you know what I mean, people who are different than us. And so I do like the fact that there are, like, thoughts about that when it comes to, like, the X-Men. Don't get me wrong, they're fun characters. Like, we love Wolverine and shit like that. But the overall tone... You know what I mean? And, oh, should we wipe out the mutants because they have the ability to kill us? When there's, other people on the face of the planet that are actually doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But we're going to focus on the mutants because it's easier. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, I like that kind of stuff, I do. So, yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from X-Men and Marvel, DC, and all those other things, And I didn't make the story because, oh, it'd be cool to make a superhero novel. I made it because it's a piece of me. You know what I mean? Superheroes are a part of me, and this symbol that I wear is the symbol that my hero wears in the book. You have to realize I grew up in the hood, like the dirty hood, and so if you look at me, you can kind of tell that I've always been different. Like, I didn't really fit in too well. Because my face was always in comic books and watching TV shows like Teen Titans and Young Justice and things like that. Powerpuff Girls and the old school Batman movies and things like that. So I've always been a little odd, in that way. But that didn't stop me from liking the things that I did. So yeah, so again, at one point, it's a long story to where what started me to write my book, basically. But it did come from a place where it wasn't just a thing that I did for fun. It was something that I had to do. These characters are characters I've been thinking of since I was 18. I'm 27 right now, but I've been doing this since I was fucking 18 years old. Trying to, master the art of writing alongside trying to study what makes a hero and what makes them fun and what I would want. You know what I mean? In a hero. It's an entire long thing, but yeah, man, always loved heroes, bro. Always loved superheroes. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at everything. And of course, like I said, just because I do like superheroes doesn't mean I'm just going to kiss ass and say, oh, you're good just because you're a superhero. Like, I do look at things the way they're supposed to be looked at, in my opinion, from my perspective at least. But yeah, no. So yeah, no, I do take, I do love, like, this is a part of my, this is my identity. It is.